Hello, my name is Heidi Rose, and I'm going to be doing my project over a healthcare system in Cleveland, Ohio called Cleveland Clinic. Cleveland Clinic is making large improvements in information technology to gain an edge over its opponents. Cleveland Clinic was founded in 1921 and now serves over 5.1 million patients a year. Also, they have about 3,000 physicians and scientists working to improve the care for their patients with information technology. The focus of Cleveland from the beginning has always to be serve every life with world-class care. And they're sticking to that goal every day by making improvements in their information technology with the level of care that they provide their patients. Back when Cleveland was first started, it struggled with inefficiency and dysfunctionality, but innovation has always been a part of what they wanted to be about. Especially in the 1990s, dysfunctionality and inefficiency was really bad. And so in the early 2000s, they decided they wanted to change this and be more serious in the clinic as a whole. And you would not believe the growth that they have undertaken. So you might think, why Cleveland? They experienced dysfunctionality and now they're trying to lead the way for clinical innovation. Well, first, the expertise and strengths of Cleveland Clinic couldn't compare to other medical facilities. Even though it's not always easy to translate clinical innovation into real-world commercial entities, Cleveland did it. Just because not everything was run as efficiently or as smoothly as it could have been did not make the physicians unskilled at their job. It meant that someone had to create an effective system of communicating and running the clinic. It started off in the first couple of years of working to try and establish an innovation pipeline throughout the whole entire Cleveland Clinic health system. Other innovation was able to be brought to the forefront more regularly. Physicians and scientists could begin acting on these innovations with licensing and startup opportunities. Being such a great candidate for the improvement of medical technology, Cleveland did not shy away from making known their work for others in future research. Projects spun out of more than 48 companies surrounding Cleveland and throughout the United States. As Cleveland began to expand and more efficiently run their system, problems were able to be identified and fixed faster. Once the original problem had begun to prompt the expansion of Cleveland Clinic, it began to focus more on information technology as a solution for the problems and not as a problem itself. The clinic was one of the first pioneers involved with linking patient involvement with medical records and other healthcare practices that they attended. Another problem that increased information technology was knowledgeable staff being ready when they first encountered the position. For example, when paper charts were the primary source of stored patient information, the doctor could not look at the information until he or she physically got the chart held in their hand. So if the nurse or another staff member had that chart, the doctor was not even able to look at the case beforehand. He couldn't see his previous notes, things that the nurse had taken, maybe phone calls that had been recorded, and he was not as knowledgeable when he went in to see the patient. Another example of this is when somebody is being brought to the hospital by an ambulance. A member of the ambulatory staff could inform the doctor of the condition only as soon as they saw the doctor. They couldn't do it any faster. So, with knowledge of these problems and the mission to provide the best care possible to their patients, Cleveland Clinic began to work to solve these problems, which ended up being a completely new department being formed. The first step was to decide how to solve these problems and what methods they would use to bring this about. Storing patient information is a serious topic, and if any of that information gets loose, it could be a serious violation, especially with HIPAA privacy laws now. Many other companies use different internet websites to store information, but Cleveland Clinic wanted to test the grounds and come up with something that no one else was doing well. So they looked differently to forms of different information technology to store their information and effectively solve their problems. The biggest solution to Cleveland's problem was the building of their electronic medical records. You might have heard the term EMR before. Cleveland started it. Systems that allow the clinic to serve both the patients and the physicians. In this system, patient information can be recorded and instantly transported to anybody in the server system. Along with being extremely helpful to get information from staff to staff, there are also tools to keep patients involved in their health, such as patient portals. Patients can then see what the doctor is posting, updated clinic notes, and be engaged in their health instead of having to call the doctor's office and be reminded of what happened or ask for the clinic so they can see them right there with this great internet web system. Also, viewing bills, it just helps keep the patient in tune with their medical health and what the doctor's office is saying and doing on behalf of them. Also, the development of this EMR solves our ambulance dilemma that we experienced earlier. So now, a person from the ambulatory staff could record the information from what they saw at the site, updates on their blood pressure, etc., tests that they're running, vitals, on the way to the hospital, so that when they walk in, the doctor already knows what's going on. There doesn't have to be that lapse of time in transportation. You may have seen in movies where they run in and they're spewing stuff to the doctor as they're walking in and rushing the patient to the emergency room or whatever the case is, the operating room. The EMR system helps fix all of that rushing where knowledge could easily be misunderstood, not communicated correctly. The doctor could miss something, the ambulatory staff could miss saying something. This way, the doctor can see exactly what the ambulance person saw. Exactly what that staff member saw and what they recorded can now be seen by a doctor, and also the patient later on, or for further reference, the doctor or physician can see what happened at that moment, what was being recorded, and it's not just word of mouth. And it's not as easily forgettable when you're doing it right then and there. So the EMR definitely fixes that problem with ambulatory staff running in and out because it's all connected to the same server, so they can all access it. There's so many new products that would benefit Cleveland anymore. One of them is ZenMate. ZenMate encrypts the browser to safeguard data. So as we talked about with the EMR, it could be easy for a hacker to get in and steal all of the patient's medical records, all their personal information. But this browser extension allows users to easily switch locations and devices, so we wouldn't have to worry about, with different doctors having different computers, it would all remain protected. ZenMate even works in 10 other countries besides the US, making it ideal for Cleveland, who is growing and communicating with other doctors throughout the country, throughout the world even. It's okay because their data is safe. They offer high-speed internet connections that block malicious sites to avoid security breaches. It's really just an amazing feature that can be used between devices and would be extremely helpful to Cleveland Clinic. Throughout the many trials of Cleveland Clinic and their desire to advance information technology, one thing is certain: their willingness to pursue innovation has changed people's lives. They've saved people's lives, and it has made healthcare so much easier. Again, with the electronic medical records, they can now be transferred quickly from doctor's office to doctor's office, making sure that that physician has a great idea of what's going on. Vice versa, a doctor's office from a different state can be sending stuff to Cleveland Clinic, for instance, and that doctor can have all the information they need to take perfect care of that patient. The process has its ups and downs, but so much good has come out of these information technology and the innovation that it provides. And they are so far ahead of the game as far as research. And they're just continuing to focus on their mission to improve the care of their patients. I'm now going to show you a video that I created with some of the upcoming ideas of information technology that Cleveland Clinic is expecting to come out, or at least keep going with, pursuing research on in 2016. Thank you.